He had always been underestimated. Small, unassuming, quiet, a creature that everyone thought was harmless. They laughed at him, called him ordinary, never noticing the sharp glint in his eyes. The way he watched every move, every step, every careless whisper. But behind that soft fur and gentle purr was a mind working with precision, a plan forming, a strategy no human or animal could foresee. It all began on a rainy evening, the kind of night where shadows stretch unnaturally and the air hums with tension. He sat by the window, his tail twitching with quiet calculation. Across the room, the humans went about their mundane lives, completely unaware that this night would change everything. They had done something they thought inconsequential. They had ignored him, mocked him, taken his favorite spot on the sofa, forgotten to fill his bowl. Little acts, but each one etched a mark in his memory. A reason, a motive, and then came the spark. The moment he decided that enough was enough. The first target was obvious, the one who had carelessly tripped over him in the hallway, laughing, thinking it was just a harmless stumble. But he didn't react like other cats. No hissing, no scratching, no immediate strike. He waited. Patience was part of his genius. He observed patterns, routines, weaknesses. He memorized every schedule, every distraction. By the time the humans realized something was off, he had already set his plan into motion. The first night was subtle. A knocked-over vase here, a mysteriously empty drawer there. At first, they blamed themselves. Small mistakes in a busy household. But the pattern grew bolder. Lights flickered when he was near. Papers shifted mysteriously. Objects moved from their usual places. Every action meticulously calculated to disorient, confuse, and establish his presence without revealing the mastermind. But it wasn't enough to scare them. Not yet. A true plan, the kind that leaves legends, requires audacity. He needed control, dominance, not just fear. And so, the next phase began. The humans awoke to strange noises. The scratching of claws in the dead of night. Soft but deliberate footsteps echoing in empty rooms. Doors creaked open without a hand to touch them. They thought it was their imagination, the stress of daily life. Until the first confrontation. He appeared on the kitchen counter at dawn, eyes glowing, staring directly at the one who had ignored him the most. A hiss, low and venomous, a sound that carried a warning. They froze. The air felt heavy. The small, once-overlooked creature had transformed into something commanding, almost spectral. The humans began to notice things they had never questioned before. How the lights dimmed as he passed, how their belongings shifted inexplicably, how a feeling of being watched never left their skin. By this point, the plan was in full swing. He isolated them, manipulated the environment, made them question their own sanity. The house became a maze, each corner a trap, each shadow a potential agent of his strategy. They had never seen it coming because they had never seen him as capable. But every action was deliberate, every move intentional. He knew their fears, their weaknesses, even their favorite hiding spots. And he used them all! The final act was brilliant in its simplicity. One by one, the humans were lured into situations that tested their perception. A missing key, a mysteriously locked door, a trail of scattered belongings leading to a room where they finally confronted him. And there he was, not hiding, not running standing tall, fur bristling, eyes fixed with unmistakable intelligence and intent. The air between them crackled with tension. He had them exactly where he wanted. And then, the revelation. The humans realized this was not random mischief. This was not an accident. This was revenge strategic, methodical, inevitable. Every prank, every scare, every subtle act of dominance was carefully engineered to teach a lesson. Never underestimate the quiet ones. Never dismiss the small, the unnoticed, the seemingly insignificant. Because they see, they remember, and when the time comes, they act. By sunrise, the household had changed forever. Their routines disrupted, their confidence shattered. The cat walked among them, regal, untouchable, victorious. Every purr, every casual stretch, a reminder of who truly held the power. They would never look at him the same way again. Not a soft, cuddly companion. Not a harmless observer. A strategist. A mastermind. A force that had rewritten the rules of their world. And as he curled on the sofa, claiming the spot they had once taken for granted, a quiet satisfaction radiated from him. The revenge was complete not through brute force, but through intelligence, patience, and the perfect execution of a plan no one had seen coming. A plan so epic, so flawlessly executed, that it would be whispered about in hushed tones. The day the cat rewrote the rules. The day a creature long underestimated proved that power doesn't always roar it. Sometimes waits, watches, and then strikes with precision no one can anticipate. The humans had learned the hard way. In every twitch of his tail, in every calculated glance, he reminded them, respect is earned, not assumed. And in this house, from that day forward, respect was absolute. And somewhere deep in the shadows, a new legend began to form. The story of the quiet observer, the overlooked companion, the tiny force that executed an impossible plan. An epic act, whose revenge wasn't just a lesson, it was a masterpiece of cunning, patience, and undeniable brilliance. By the time the viewers would hear this tale, they would understand something simple, yet profound. Never underestimate what seems small. Never ignore what seems harmless. Because the quietest ones, the ones you never notice, are often the ones who change everything. And as the final scene fades, the cat's eyes glinting with subtle triumph, you realize the truth? The most unexpected victory is always the most unforgettable.